Howdy once again, Monty here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'd like to thank the commenters on a few videos previous. I missed the Eldar icon on the front cover. And I think what was particularly nice was someone commented that it was definitely Eldar and then actually subscribed to the channel. So thank you very much for doing that, whoever it was. I like to think that we're in that kind of realm that you're not, just doubting my abilities as a video host, YouTube video host, based on the fact that I miss certain things, because if anything can be said about these White Dwarf reviews, it is that I'll miss a lot of things. So thank you very much to all the viewers who continue to watch these things, because they've become a small phylum of my YouTube outings. So here we are, issue 123, and an interesting image on the cover. Not sure of the origins of this image, but I think it's probably Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay-esque in some element, I'm sure. So, once again, we're in March 1990. Brian Ansell, Paul Bonner, Paul Bonner, I don't remember him. Rick Priestley, Ivan Bartlett, I remember him in a few things, and Carl Tibbut. Carl Tibbut? Anyway, so this is the White Dwarf at the time. And the editor here is Simon Forrest, who I don't think appears in the pictures of this one. So yes, we're delving out of my comfort zone with regards to White Dwarfs. But I think this is one that I didn't necessarily own as a child, but had a friend who owned it. That's basically how I got all my White Dwarfs. So the Games Workshop Nottingham store, obviously the flagship store, and a few of these folk look familiar to me. Phil Thompson, for example, Tim Pollard, Paul Anderson. I don't know, there's Carl Tibbut again. So, forthcoming events, look at this. Gold Demon Regional Judging. Regional Judging at the Marauder Blade, which is the Gold Demon alternative for Marauder Miniatures. Heavy Metal Conversion Painting with Mike McVeigh. Colin Dixon. Warhammer Fantasy Battle, Bring and Battle. Just bring along a painted Warhammer army up to 1,500 points. Modelling Workshop with Tony Cottrell. Wow, that would have been fun. You can make a Titan out of plasticard in that one, I'm sure. So, here we go. This became, what was it previously? Anyway, it became Games Workshop Citadel News. We probably should have covered that distinctly. In fact, I think we did 122, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't Games Workshop and Citadel News back then. But I think this could be the turning point in the magazine where they stop having other things in there. So store news, gaming leagues, Gold Demon 90. Admiring the artwork here, the Blade. So this is in Michigan. So they seem to be representing an American specialist store every issue. So this is just before they started making the US White Dwarfs as well, I'm assuming. Warhammer Fantasy Battle now. Is this based on the front cover? I think it might be. Clash of Evil by Peter Morrison. We're still wondering whether Peter Morrison has any relation to the Morrison clan that did Marauder Miniatures, amongst other things. Well, let's have a look at these beauties. Look at this one. Oh, this Terminator and Plastic Horse conversion. Now, you can't argue with that being just completely a mixture of metaphors. Fraser Gray, you have to thank for that one. There's some beauties here. I like the Bright Wizard. Any other ones? I think he's enamored with the discs. That's what he is. He's enamored with the discs. Another Nurgle image. So what are we looking here? Orc and Goblin army list. So this goes straight into an Orc and Goblin army list. Talks about orcs and goblins, talks about tactics, the setup. Chaos Army organised as follows. Oh, is this a battle report? Is this one of their famed mini not quite battle reports. I think it might be. So it still does have external stores. They're still providing external stores where obviously Games Workshop stuff can be found still. But yes, I wonder if the Orcs Nest will appear in this issue. Games Workshop Edinburgh. Ooh, some favourites coming up, I can feel it. Yes, so this is a battle report between, I believe, Chaos and Greenskins. Actually noted here, were they noted as Greenskins? No, it's still Orcs and Goblins, not Greenskins. It's me adding my own vernacular. Excuse me. Apologies. I've got a frog in my throat. Speaking of green things, look at this Orc and Goblin army, all made with beautiful Marauder miniatures. Look at this thing. So many aspects to it. So we've got requires assembly. This is a dwarf thrower. They're actually putting dwarves because there was a goblin lobber, I seem to recall. Maybe this is the famed dwarf lobber. No, I'm not sure. Man Mangler. So maybe it sends men off as opposed to dwarves. The bows here are remarkably thick. I quite like a thick bow on a small model. Oh yes, just such a wide variety of greenskins in this one. And this is the Man Mangler and Orc crew, so what is the distinction here? I think it's both the same things, just from different angles. Perhaps, yeah, same thing from different angles. I think like that. Move a page to see exactly the same model, just from a different angle. Very nice. I do like these Boar Riders. They do have a lot of class to them. One has armour on it, the rest are just furred. So I guess the champion has armour on it. You put armour on a pig. So we're looking at, ooh, an Orc and Goblin army list that's Marauder specific. So it's got, that's where we get the two Manglers from. Gosh, look at it. So you've got the army on the next page. Interesting. Interesting. Banners not included. So here we have more epic scale stuff. Space Marine for scale. This is actually a remarkably small tank when you've got the Marine next to it, but it's not actually that big. It's probably about the size of a Panther, I would imagine. Of that order of German-style tank. This was obviously considerably larger. I have one of these. I'm not sure if it's a Shadow Sword though. I've got to remember what actual weapon is on it. But in 28mm, it's still pretty big. Although actually it fits in a half-size RK multi-case, or RK box as it is in this case. So it can't be that big because when you take the gun off it, it actually fits perfectly on top of the tank. Or I think they're actually in separate areas. I think the turret is in one of the boxes and the tank itself is in another box. So maybe you can't actually fit them in a half multi-case. Maybe you need a full TK. What are they called? RK? KR multi-cases? KR multi-cases. Look at my brain. It's amazing I can recognise what is a Space Marine and what is an Eldar in these videos. Anyway, continuing on. We've got Basilisk, we've got Bomber, we've got Gordon, a Manticore, and a Baneblade. Ooh, some beautiful miniatures here. I really like this. The Salamanders. Is this the first ever showing of the Salamanders in a White Dwarf? I wonder. I have some Salamanders that I'm passing on to a good friend when he is here, hopefully maybe later this year. Anyway, he's normally a subscriber to this channel, so if he sees the video, he'll know who he is. Anyway, I showed that. I do like these old bikes. They're particularly nice, particularly when they're doing wheelies. I think that's a very nice way of doing it. These Terminators, beautifully painted. I just love these. It's a pity that they're so small. Like, this could easily be twice the size and still be an enjoyable model to look at. But I guess you've got to pack a lot into a page. So that's just the choice that they're making in this heavy metal section. Oh, more epic all the time. see, there's a Predator that makes it look like a relatively small tank, which I don't know. I guess that's right when you look at the model next to it. They might have grown a little bit bigger in 28mm, I think. Land Raiders certainly similarly. I remember Land Raiders being much bigger tanks than that. Well, still, you know, look at this. You can get Orc and Eldar tanks in contrast. Gosh, whatever happened to the Capitol Imperialis? That was a tank to reckon with. Why don't I make that in 28mm? So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff you can make out of plastic card, actually. Truth be told. A heavy mold. That does look like a heavy mold, doesn't it? An Imperial mold and a heavy mold. The Imperial mold and the heavy mold, well, obviously the heavy mold is considerably larger than the Imperial mold. Here have the termites to keep the metaphors right. I do like a Vindicator. Anyway. Here we have some 40k greenskins. I do like this miniature and I have one. Some of these other ones are fun, but no, this is the one I have. This one I've never seen. I'm wondering if, I think he's the one arm, one plastic arm, one metal arm, one plastic arm, I'm pretty sure. Which is probably why he's not represented in my collection. Got this guy, I'm a big fan of him. But yeah, this is also another favourite. I think I've got something like that, but getting them standing in the banners and everything is always difficult. I've got one with the sidecar, just on my bookshelf actually. Just literally arm's length away. Orcs. So, sorry, we're finishing up here with the remaining epic stuff and getting into the Warg Orcs. Warg Orcs. They're coming, apparently. Oh, here we go. They got very into this, particularly as this edition moves on to the next edition. Just defining the orcs by their particular clans and factions and what have you. I think it was just a means of repainting the same figures 3 or 4 times out of the same figure range. But yeah, types of orcs. Look at this, gosh. There are lots of different types of orcs, aren't there? Well, this is mainly based on size and various other things. Talks about the tribe, and here we go. Blood Axes, Evil Sons. Continues on. Continues on. This is a favourite of mine. It's a pity they never made a model like that one. Of a long-faced orc. I kind of like that. And here we go. Snake bites and goths. Warboss Retinue. If we can just focus on this beautiful little image at the start of the picture. I always like the idea of the retinue. Particularly with orcs. Oh, and here we go, more orc banners of the various kinds. Vehicle pendants. Pain Boys banners, always important. I just love this artwork. Is this an orc on a cell phone? No, what is he doing? He's just calling out, perhaps. Yes, it would be representative of a future which wasn't yet represented in this era, I would imagine. But yeah, lots of really interesting little bits and pieces going on here. And just difficult in some regard to summarise in video form. Bit of Fanner, various other components. Is the family got a knife in its mouth, or is it smoking something? I'm not sure. I think it's got a knife in its mouth. Big mob. Oh, I do love it when they just use the old weapons. They could just obviously conquered a bunch of space marines and just grabbed their weapons. Or squats, let's be honest here. Probably more likely squats. And they've just grabbed their weapons, and they're now their weapons. Like this stuff, trying to aim something. Yes, there were never enough punk orcs, I can imagine. I really would like to see orcs with mohawks. That strikes me as something that was missed. This is a favourite of mine as well. Not just the pipe, but also the little fellow carrying his acetylene um, welding unit, which no doubt is going to be highly useful in a battle, I think. Pain boys and weird boys. Two critical parts of an orc tribe. Pain boys, very critical, particularly after battles, and weird boys just generally critical. Does this guy have a gun pressed up against? I think he does. He's got a gun pressed up against the weird boy. Runt herders, yes. These were oftentimes interesting models that we utilised. Deal with Gretchen and Snotlings. A warboss may have various Gretchen and Snotlings, and the number of those Gretchen and Snotling group depends on how many runt herds are in the warband. Here we have another side profile of some boys. Ooh, we're starting to get in orky weapons. Now this looks like it's just been stolen from a squat, but this is actually a decent sized orky power claw, I think. Do they call them power claws? Power gloves, they call them. Okay. And another beautiful piece of artwork. This fellow looking out, these fellows in side profile. Storm Boy's corpse. Gosh. Oh, it goes on. Wild boys, mad boys. Gosh. Many, many, many. Gosh, this is multi-page. This is really why I probably have this issue. Just the amazing amount of orcs. My favourite orcs are always the freebooters. I just wish that the freebooters eventually become a tribe. Eventually become its own faction. Let's see what it says up here. Fighting the ravages of war, blah blah blah. Using freebooters rules describes the second volume of Wacky Orcs. You can create your own unusual and bizarre freebooters mob. This is what I'm talking about right here. Yes, I've always been a fan of the freebooters for exactly that reason. Outside the bounds of previous orc tribes. Very nice. Human mercenary squad. Oh my goodness. Humans that work with the orcs. Well, they're mercenaries. Only available to blood axes, because only blood axes will have open dealings with humans. Wow. Chosen from an Imperial Guard army list. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine orcs and Imperial Guard getting together? What are they even called now? What would you call Imperial Guard under modern naming conventions, which where they fraternized with and fought with orcs and ogre and mob? Yes, this is also where you can really push the miniature ladder, I think, probably with plenty of green stuff like that. Oh, odd bits. Herds, designer's notes. Well, this is really the orc issue, isn't it? It's funny it doesn't have a better cover, you would think. But yes, no, this was obviously why it was a special issue for me. This is such an interesting image. It's clearly some old stuff from many battles that are in some kind of jungle environment, and then as you look at it more, you get to see the greenskins come out from the imagery. It's when these kind of map starts, and then you just start picking out the greenskins and the old weaponry of the other parts. Just a beautiful image. Orc equipment charts so you can roll it up. I love the blunderbuss. Where on earth is the blunderbuss in 40k these days? That's what is missing. Real orc weapons, that's what's missing. And we get to the end of heavy metal, and this is really the lower end of the issue. Talking about the orc clans. So this was clearly a big thing. This was the orc clans release, I'm assuming, to actually describe it. Odd boys, weird boys, talking about this stuff. I guess if you're in heavy metal, the various release of the multicoloured orcs was a thing. And Mike McVeigh, I'm not sure if Mike was in the earlier issue, but this might be his his first photograph piece. Maybe he's in earlier issues, I don't know. Haven't looked at him recently. Yes, I've got this beauty. I think I've got some of these beauties in parts, but I think I've got this one in parts. Or maybe I sent this one off to Rachi, and he's still got it in parts, maybe. I don't know. He might have sent it back. I don't know. But yeah, some beautiful models in here. And we get to the epic section. And all our favourite games. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. 1 Realms of Chaos book out so far. I haven't yet gotten to the other one yet. The Lost and the Damned. But yes, many, many beautiful games. I've got Rat Spike somewhere, actually. I don't think I've Blood 9, but I have Rat Spike. I probably should pull that out for a similar walkthrough. Oh, we're getting multi-page now, and the dragons are... They don't really feature enough dragons in these issues, I don't think. Anyway. You can get patches. And here we are. These are the plastic-armed orcs, which is why they're not particularly well represented in my collection. But, you know, not without their own style. And I do like these guys back here. Now weird boys coming in. Who's doing the sculpting on these still? Is these still Kev Adams? Do they still credit? Yep, Kev Adams. They're crediting Kev Adams. So he's still doing the greenskins. Very good. On the back page, an epic battle, including one of those, what were they called? Imperialist somethings, which I wish they'd make in 28mm. In fact, I'd like some of these. I think they probably do make some of those in 28mm. I seem to recall when the what were they called? The Gene Stealer Cult stuff came out. There were tunneling things. But anyway, so thank you very much for watching another one of these long and rambling White Dwarf look-throughs. I'm always impressed that people enjoy them, and please write in the comments if I've made any glaring errors and omissions, as you always tend to do. But a pleasure as always. Tom Bartley in Las Vegas, Nevada, signing out.